There we go. Well, I am excited that we have Jennifer Hamilton here with us today. She and I go way back. We worked together at Sandy as she was our Family Crimes Intervention Unit Coordinator and now is at a case manager for the Salt Lake County District Attorney's Office. She has been in the field a long time and has a lot of experience, and we are just so excited for her to be talking to us about the district courts, victim services, and kind of their role and what they do in the criminal justice system. So we'll let you take it away, Jen.
Hi. We officially, I don't know if everybody knows this, we officially changed our name from the District Attorney Victim Services Unit to now we're District Attorneys, the Survivor and Victim Services Unit. That just happened just a few months ago, not too long ago. So I'll just jump right in here. I'm just going to go through quickly kind of like all the different pieces that pull like somebody from my team into getting a case. And so after the cases are screened with our office, there's a couple different ways we can get assigned a case. The first one is through our legal secretaries. So what happens with them is in eProsecutor, it's an auto referral process for them to get a whole bunch of cases. They will then review the cases, see if it warrants somebody being assigned. They look at the history. Do we have a lot of cases? Whether they were declined or to be, charged with our office. They look at all that. Sometimes they'll even make calls out to the families, to the victims to see what kind of support they might need. And then they'll determine who to assign them to based on we're courtroom based. So we're all assigned to different courtrooms. Another way we can get assigned cases is through our prosecutors. If our prosecutors are assigned to a case and somebody from my team was not assigned, but they're seeing a need for resources and support, then they can request as well to have somebody assigned from my team. Sometimes we get the request directly from the survivor or the victim after having a little bit of a conversation with somebody from our office. And then other ways are just randomly cases at initial appearances. They change courtrooms during that time. And so if that happens, then sometimes we just get assigned from another social worker from my team because they're not in that courtroom. So it's just easier to reassign it to the person that's assigned to that courtroom. So there's that. And if there's questions, feel free to jump in. Based on the presentation thing, I can't see the questions. So if something comes up, just let me know. What happens when we get a case? Initially, we review the case, we review the police report, we view the witness statements, anything that we can view in eProsecutor, we'll look at, see what kind of things have already taken place. We are supposed to be making initial contact with cases we're assigned to within 48 hours. Sometimes that doesn't happen based on our schedules, but we do our best to reach out to them as quickly as possible to get the right supports in place. We also will attempt to reach out to the other system-based advocates to see if they've had any contact with them. I think most importantly, the reason why to do that is not just if we can't get a hold of the victim and we're trying to get more contact or things like that. I think it's also important that we're making those contacts and seeing what kind of supports they have already provided, because most people that come all this way are already so overwhelmed with everything that's happening and the trauma on top of that. I don't want to duplicate resources. I don't want to duplicate supports. So if I can take a little bit of that away, I'm happy to do that. Then we'll try to set up an intake. A lot of times we try to do those in person. If they don't want to come into our office or don't have a way to come into our office, we're always willing to do phone intakes as well as video intakes. We will attempt to contact the victim several times and in several different ways to try and get the resources and support out to them. We do this by calling the numbers that we can find, texting the numbers we can find, sending outreach letters to let them know that we're here and we're trying to get in touch with them. Again, reaching out to the other agencies to see if we can't find them. If for some reason we cannot get in touch with them, we'll kind of put that case as inactive or close our services and just let the prosecutor know that, hey, we've tried to reach out. If you get in touch with them and they still want our support, just reach back out to me or the person assigned and we'll reopen those and get back in contact and get them. There's never a like, oh, we tried to call you and services are done. We'll continue to try and reach out how we can. For our intake process, we always try to invite the prosecutor to be involved because getting that initial contact in with them and getting some of those getting kind of ahead of the game with getting questions answered about what the process looks like. The prosecutor should be reviewing the case already and even discussing if even offers are a potential option at this time, what that looks like. We review the court process. We've got a document that kind of goes through the criminal justice process. We've got it in English and Spanish. We always want to find out what their desired level of court involvement is. Do they want to be at every hearing, whether that's in person or over video? Do they just want to be notified and updated about what's happening? They don't want to be involved at all. We're going to get all of that kind of information as much as possible and update our records to reflect that. Notifications, again, what kind of notifications they want. They can get notifications straight from us, but we can also set it up in eProsecutor that they get updated every time there's another case. We talk about protective orders. Do they want the pretrial protective order, their rights to not have a pretrial protective order in place and speak to the court about that? Do they want a continuous protective order at the end of all of this? We try and get all of this in. What is their desired outcome? Kind of what does justice look like to them? We kind of try to get that information out there from them. I already went through the plea option offers. We also provide a folder full of resources that includes the court process. We'll review the CVR application with them and the brochure if they have not already gotten that from the like the police advocate or one of the other system-based advocates. We have a brochure on their rights as a victim and survivor in the cases, and also a brochure about what our team offers as well. As always, I think with the same that Natalie kind of said, we'll also do safety planning with them, and we'll discuss self-care, therapies, resources, support, whatever we can do to help them. You know, our biggest job through all of that after this intake is to then support them through the court process and support with the prosecutors. So the next one kind of talks about the coordination with the prosecutors. During intake and during our discussions with the victims, we do talk about a disclosure. We have a disclosure form that we'll either have them sign or we'll discuss with them that talks about while what we talk about is confidential, there is going to be things that we have to share with the prosecutor in order for them to successfully prosecute the case and put the right supports in place and get all the necessary information and evidence out there for that case. So we want to make that very clear that we want to make sure they feel safe talking with us, but knowing that we will be talking with the prosecutors about the stuff. And of course, the prosecutors that are assigned to our cases actually have access to our notes in eProsecutor in order to help address some of the communication stuff. So then we also have the ongoing communication, regularly communicating about the cases. If the victims have questions during in the middle of the case, we try and assist with them answering those questions. When prosecutors are in court, they're in court. They don't have a lot of time to grab their phone, answer questions. So a lot of times the social workers that are assigned to those courtrooms and to those cases will jump in and answer our text messages or phones faster because we can jump in out of court while they cannot. We also sometimes assist our prosecutors in cases we're not assigned to if they just need something very quick in court. And then again, we provide updates if there's to the prosecutors, if there has been a change in address, phone numbers, things like that, or if there's been a change in what they want the case to look like, things like that. You know, communication has to go both ways on this one, not just with the victim, but with the prosecutors. It's just a whole big cyclical thing. And then, of course, the ongoing support that we provide. We'll attend court, update them on court, crisis support if something happens, notification updates on what's going on. I still maintain that coordination with other agencies actually happens all the way through everything. I've had great coordination on cases with so many assistant-based advocates. I'm pretty sure many of you are sick of me reaching out to you and bothering you all the time. But I think that there's a lot that happens. In fact, there's a case that just resolved not that long ago with one of the victims. And not only did she have the support of me in the case, but she had the support of 2 of the Salt Lake City Police Department victim advocates that came to every court hearing to support her as well. And so coordinating, making sure they're updated with case information, I think is just as important, because sometimes they're going to be there as that first contact and that first trust that victim has built with somebody. And I think it's important to keep them involved. And then ongoing support is needed. Sometimes we have cases that are very high level, and then some that are very low that just want very minimal contact. So we just base our services with them individually. No case is a one size fits all. And so for 3rd District, I don't know how many people are completely, I'm sure they are, but there's Monday judges and then there's Friday judges, especially in the downtown, the Matheson Courthouse. And so I just kind of went through who's assigned to each courtroom. Case managers, which is what I am, is we're the ones that handle most domestic violence cases, major crimes cases, and then other cases as well. We've all been handed some of the other types of cases, like sexual violence cases or other cases, but we mainly stick to those type of cases. So you'll see like Jamie is assigned to Judge Parker and Judge Treese as one of the case managers. And then the counselors are normally the ones that are assigned to the sexual violence cases, the homicide cases. We are currently, I think we just hired somebody for that position, but in the meantime, we've had some help covering for those cases in Judge Parker and Treese. I'm assigned to Judge Brereton and Judge Johnson and Judge Pettit. Judge Johnson and Judge Pettit are like part-time judges, so we switch back and forth from those courtrooms. That's the same with Judge McKelvey and Judge Corus. And you can see who's assigned to those. Friday court assignments, Judge Jones, Judge Gibson, and Judge Blanche. Sorry, I had to put that one in a smaller font, so I apologize, but there's a lot of people that help in that courtroom. Judge Metler and Judge Coram, and then of course, Judge Mao, Judge Lawrence, Judge Shaughnessy, and Judge Welch are the other Friday courts. In West Jordan, these are the judges that are out there. As you can see, same thing. Got a wonderful group of people that work out in West Jordan that I don't get to see very often, which makes me sad. And then finally, I did put in the presentation our contact information. It's got our office and our cell phone numbers. One of the things I always have sent out and said, you know, feel free for you guys to use our cell phone numbers. Make sure to check with us before you give it to a victim or survivor, just because sometimes there are some people that don't utilize their cell phone as much. For me personally, I'm on my cell phone more than I am my office phone. In fact, my office phone is transferred to my cell phone because it's just easier to get a hold of me there. So you can see this is all of our downtown team. It includes some of our extra special people like Eli, who does our data specialty work. And then of course, Hillary, who's our legal secretary. She's one of the people that assigns the cases to us. And for West Jordan, and then our MDT team, you can see who's assigned down there and their contact information. Our multidisciplinary team, they're wonderful as well. Sarah actually supervises some of the case managers as well as the MDT team for support. So if you ever have questions about the MDT teams, side note, if you are helping with a case that is getting ready to be screened with our office, and you're not, especially the sexual violence cases, if you're not being invited to those as a system-based advocate, you should be for those, because it's important to get your input on what you've done to support that victim or survivor. Here's a big question, because I know this isn't just for Salt Lake County. What if I'm not in Salt Lake County? There are a ton of other counties that do have victim services within their prosecutor's office or the district attorney's office. So I've listed the ones that do have that I could find or that I've worked with. Example, I know Kristen Guthrie's on here, and I worked with her on a case several months ago. I saw that there were multiple cases with the same defendant and same victim. And so I reached out to see what kind of support she had provided. And then we continue to coordinate support between the two of us for the victim. But yeah, reach out to there. If somebody, if they don't have a victim services program within their office, or you're not sure who to contact, I would just reach out to them and try and coordinate with the assigned prosecutor on the case, or find out who would be the best person to get that ongoing support with. Because I think it's important for that victim to know their rights and have a voice through the entire process. And the only way to do that is to find somebody from my team, or from the other agencies that do have somebody like that with their prosecutor's office, or for you to continue to help fight for that. So, and I also encourage my prosecutors, especially in like the DV case, well, in all the cases, but in DV cases, I encourage them that if somebody from my team is not assigned, to reach out to the system-based advocates to see what kind of coordination support they can do to continue with the victim. I also have provided them the same resources that we provide our victims, so our prosecutors can be just as well as informed as we are. It's a continuing process, because those prosecutors do sometimes change a lot. And then one thing, I don't know how many people out there know about our Camp Hope. It's a camp for kids 7 to 17 who have been through the process. We generally don't invite them to Camp Hope unless the cases have been resolved. And so it's an ongoing referral process with our team. This year, the camp is going from July 7th through July 12th, I think were the right ones. And then Camp Hope is like nationwide. There's 43 Camp Hope affiliates out there. We're always looking for volunteers to come up. It's up at Mill Hollow. For those of you that know Mill Hollow or ever grew up here and went to camp up there for Mill Hollow during school, because I did. There's an email there if you have questions about Camp Hope, or if you want to get involved. They do a lot of really good work out there. It's trauma informed. Everybody up there gets the right supports in place. HOPE actually stands for happiness, opportunities, perseverance, and empowerment. I got that from our Camp Hope brochure. You can actually go on, if you go online and just type Camp Hope Utah, you'll find a lot of information in there. Some news reports that have been done about it. It's a really cool program. I know I'm probably going super, super fast, so sorry about that. I'm a fast talker. I did put some slides in here about teamwork, and I think many of you have already seen a lot of these, but I have to throw humor in my job because we deal with a lot of stuff, which is why for many of you who have seen me in court or seen me, I actually on the back of my employee badge, I have a sticker that says emotional support human, because that's basically what we are and what we do. But also I just think it just gives people that embodiment of, oh, she's a safe person. I don't know. No, Max, sorry, my dog is helping. But so here's this guy. Let's see if I did this right.
It's smarter to travel in groups. And I think you know why I put that one on there. It goes back to like putting all the puzzle pieces together and making that collaborative effort to support these victims throughout every area, starting with when police first arrived, to their victim advocates, to South Valley Services, to cases coming to my office or any of the prosecutors or district attorney's office, and all the way through to the end. You know, I love seeing victims come from that very far end all the way to this end, and seeing how empowered and changed that they can become. And they always think it's always because of us, that what we do, and really we're just their background cheerleaders and they're doing all the hard work. But I love seeing that change and that empowerment, and them come back to who they are. It's just really cool. And so this last slide, well, the last one's just a thank you one, but the next one has a lot to do with not just us as in teamwork, but also the people that are going through all of this. So this one again, let's try this. No, not that again. I gave you all of our contact information in this, but we do have main phone numbers that you can reach out in case you do actually have any other questions after all of this.
And that's, sorry, I went really fast, so I am so sorry about that. But are there questions? I'm going to stop sharing so I can see everything. If there's not, then I am done.
You are good. Is there any questions for Jen? I think it's just important to, I put it in the chat as well, but most county attorney's office do have a victim advocate. Now with our state funding, we have a lot. I love Pupper. Max is the cutest. So but if you don't know who your system-based advocate is in the county attorney's office, please reach out to me. I have a lot of the contacts and I can connect you with them. But they do really have that important role to help with that, those level of crimes that are being handled. Most district courts handle Class A misdemeanors and above, Class A's and felony cases. So just being aware of that they are there to be a resource, and having those contacts so that you can reconnect the victim so they can get the direct and correct information.
And Amanda, thank you for getting my reference to the labyrinth.
Yes, love it. We used to have a SWAVO list that we would send out. We are working on creating a resource directory and things like that. We do have a spreadsheet that we currently have all of our system-based advocates on, but we're still working on all of our nonprofit community-based programs and getting that updated. So that is something that I can send to someone if they would like that. But yeah, we do have, and it's always changing, obviously. We do have our concern center that we do try to keep information up to date as well for our system-based advocates and community programs. But that's always working on as well, improving that. We're working on trying to make it a little more easier to navigate and user-friendly on our concern center. That's a resource directory online as well. So, but yeah, you can always reach out to me. So great question, Kristen. Is there any other questions that you guys have? Just seeing if. Okay, and then one other thing that I forgot to announce this morning, and Beatrice, you might have to help me remember the dates that we've set. We do have a series that we're working with Lindy Isom and some other partners on a 3-part series of when you as an advocate have been affected personally, either have been a victim, has a family member or friend close to you been a victim, and kind of how to navigate that when you're navigating the system, though you're used to it in your own capacity, but then now you're trying to help a family member or a friend or yourself. So we're doing a 3-part series of that through the summer. So our first one is going to be July 11th. Is that right? Yes. July 11th, August 8th, and then our last one will be in September. So look for a flyer for that. That will be September 12th. Thank you. I was like, I couldn't find our sheet with it. So look for that. We'll be sending out information to register for that. It'll be a webinar series that will be a 2-hour series, or 2 hours for each one, and kind of touching on different things. We just feel like there's so many, we experience a lot of vicarious trauma working with victims, but also that it can be hard to navigate, either if you've been a victim in the past, sometimes when there's different, and one of our series will be on kind of how to navigate when there's triggers maybe that happen or things like that. But also most people have experienced either a family member or close friend being a victim, and how you have to kind of be in this different role when you're used to having your advocate hat. So look forward to that series, but we'll be sending out more information and flyer and registration for that, but it'll be a 3-part series. So we're excited for that. But thank you again, Jen. We really appreciate your time for being here. You guys do amazing work with the Salt Lake DAs, and they're such an important role. So thank you so much for coming and presenting. I'm going to give Polly a few minutes before our lunch break to talk about a pilot program and some information that's exciting as well. So I'll let you take it away, Polly.
Thank you, Vicki. I am going to share my screen really quick. Okay. You guys should be able to see improve on the screen. I hope that you got an email from me or UOVC on May 10th regarding Improve. If you did not, let me know. I can always resend this email. I am going to, well, hopefully, well, I just put our instructions on how to do revisions internally in the chat. Let me actually put the real thing I was going to put in the chat. That's hilarious. Here we go. This is, okay, so Improve. It is a tool for how to basically collect feedback from our victims and survivors. This program can help us improve our programs. But one of the most important things that it probably can help do for us is, at least regarding grants, which that's where my brain is and my mind is when I'm talking in this world, is how you demonstrate your program's value and the things that you're able to do and how you support victims and how you help improve their lives and their situation. The importance of Improve is that your victims are going to be sending that information, and that can be really valuable to help support your funding requests. Again, improve maybe your program. One of the things that is also mentioned is it can also help boost staff morale of your program, to sort of hear, you know, how victims are affected by what your program as the victim advocates do. So that can be also very important. So Improve, they are going to do a 1 hour little meeting for us for Utah on June 25th at noon. Again, I put their website in the link, and I put the registration link in there. UOVC is going to do a pilot program where we want to have, you know, maybe 20 to 30 agencies maybe participate in, you know, sort of a pilot program where we're working with you to sort of test out this system and see, you know, if it's going to work for us, which we do have agencies currently doing this. It's very user friendly for you as victim services, setting up the surveys and the questions for your victims. And then it's also very user friendly for your victims, survivors. So very much love the system. It is created by other victim services providers, so people helping other victims. So they very much understand victims, the criminal world, what victims are going through. So many of the questions that I have received so far is we already put so much on victims. You know, here we have another thing we're going to ask them to do. I have so much to do. The system is set up. You can help choosing your questions. It's very thought out. It's very thorough. This is regarding your program as victim advocates. It's not the attorneys, it's not the investigators, it's how your program as victim advocates are affecting your victims' lives. So anyway, if you have any interest at all, please consider joining us on the 25th. And then also please consider signing up for the pilot program. Did I put that? I don't think I put that link in there, but this on the screen is the registration screen. And then also their website is super helpful. And technically you can sign up for Improve, like regardless of whether or not you're affiliated and working with us. Like, so you please consider that as well. We do have agencies that are already doing Improve. If you are and you want to let us know, please let me know. If you would like to maybe be involved in communicating how Improve works for you. I have heard nothing but great things. So their website, again, very helpful. trainings, lots of help. Let me make sure I notated everything. You control the data also. This isn't going to be UOVC controlling the data. This is going to be you controlling the data. Again, very user-friendly, very easy to decipher your data and your feedback. Okay. All right. The pilot program, like us working together with you guys, if you want to do the pilot program, will get started in the fall, maybe early winter. But I believe that is all I wanted to mention. In the May 10th email, there was a link to like sign up for the to join the pilot program with UOVC. I'll put that link in the chat as well. And that is pretty much Improve. So if you have questions or concerns about Improve, you can email me. I will, or call me. I'll put my email. Sorry, I took kids to the airport today at 2 o'clock. So my brain is like zero. I don't even remember my email right now. Okay, so there's my email. I'll put the link to sign up for the pilot program, and you can email me or call me. And I think that's it for Improve. Again, please consider it. It's the anecdotal, the empirical data that comes from our victims. It's a little bit new. Sometimes it's a little scary, but it is probably the most valuable information that we can get to help us, to help them. So anyway, there's my phone number. There's my email. Okay.
Thank you so much, Polly. Is there any questions for Polly about the pilot program or the training that's coming up on the 25th? Is that right? 24th?
25th. Yes.
25th. Thank you. Sorry. It's like as soon as I said it, I was like, I can't remember now.
It's okay.
So, and that has come out, and I have included that in past SWAVO emails like 2 weeks ago, I think. So if you're looking for that information too, look for those emails. If you don't receive my SWAVO weekly bulletins, I know they're thrilling, but if you'd like to, you definitely can reach out to me and I can add you to our contact list for those weekly emails that people send me, either announcements, training opportunities, job announcements, things like that as well. So we can always include you. Thank you, Polly, for including that link as well. So we're excited to have this program option for you guys to utilize and be able to get positive and useful feedback from survivors. So thank you so much, Polly.
Thank you.
Is there any questions? Sorry, I just realized I didn't give much time. Okay, perfect. Well, we will break now for our